If you're an investor in Bear Stearns, or one of those high-flying investment bankers who work at Bear Stearns, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should not receive tax dollars from Americans to bail out your investment bank just because you made some stupid investments in subprime and other loans. You should lose your business, you should lose your job, and you should be out on the street. I've seen it happen, especially in our city. You'll go buy a home and you'll see that everything that every worldly possession is out on the street. The sheriff's been there and evicted someone. And the truth is, those are usually low-income people, often minorities, and they get evicted. And I'm pretty sure they don't do that in West County with the same panache. But there's all their stuff on the street, and they have to get on with their life because they've been evicted. Now, here's what should happen. If you're dumb enough to sign one of those loans, subprime loans, you should lose your property. You should pay the price. But if you're Bear Stearns or any other bank, investment bank or others, who invest in these stupid loans and know well enough what the problem is, you should lose your shirt too. The sheriff should go to Bear Stearns in New York City, move all their stuff out on the street, and those people should lose their jobs. Here's the thing. I don't believe it when people say, oh, the forms weren't clear, they were duped, people were tricked. I don't see the evidence of that. The investors at Bear Stearns knew what they were doing, and the people who sign up for loans know what they're doing. And neither one should receive tax dollars and bail out. I remember in college, I'd get one of those flyers to sign up for a credit card. And I knew I didn't have any money to pay for a credit card. I didn't have anything to back it up with. I didn't own a car or a house or anything. And I watched as my friends would sign up for credit cards. And they'd go out and spend money on things and have fun. And then lo and behold, time would come, the bill would come due, and they wouldn't have a nickel to pay for it. And what would they do? They'd beg, they'd borrow, they'd usually call mom and dad. And I knew that that was stupid then, and I was 19 or 20. Now, when you look around and you see people signing up for loans on their homes, huge amounts of money there, everyone knew that the housing bubble was too big and it was going to burst. And so when we sit back now and say, oh, I feel bad for people, I feel bad for these people that have these bad loans. Wrong. If you signed up, if you were dumb enough to do it, you should lose your home. I know that's sad, I know that's harsh, but it's true. But as importantly, if you're dumb enough to run an investment bank and rely on billions of dollars of subprime loans, loans that were too risky to be smart, and you made money over the last decade selling and trading and moving those, when those checks, when those bills come due, you shouldn't get a bailout from Uncle Sam. I don't want to pay my tax dollars to that. Reminds me of a woman I met who was nearly 100 years old. She lived in southern Illinois, right across the river. And I asked her, boy, you know, I talked to her for a few hours, and I said, well, what's the one thing you'd say is the most important change in America in your lifetime? I thought she might say both world wars, air flight, my television. She looked at me and she took a deep breath and she said, the biggest change is credit. And I said, what do you mean? She said, when I went to buy my first TV, we bought it and put it on layaway. And we paid every week a few dollars each week. And she said, after about 12 weeks, we got the TV. She said, we paid for things first and then got them. She said, nowadays, credit makes it so you get things now and you don't realize that you have to pay them off and how much it'll cost. If you're dumb enough to sign one of those loans, subprime loans, you should lose your property. You should pay the price. But if you're Bear Stearns or any other bank, investment bank or others, who invest in these stupid loans and know well enough what the problem is, you should lose your shirt too. The sheriff should go to Bear Stearns in New York City, move all their stuff out on the street, and those people should lose their jobs. Because what's good for one is good for the other, and neither one of those groups deserve a bailout from us.